Hello everyone, in this lecture we are going to learn about dimensions and types of data in GIS environment. Therefore, the objectives of this session are to understand the dimensions of GIS and to understand the differences among various types of data in a GIS environment. Okay, let's start with the dimensions of GIS. There are 6 dimensions of data in a GIS environment. Zero-dimensional GIS data, which refers to the dimension of points used in a GIS environment. One-dimensional GIS data, which refers to the dimension of lines in a GIS environment. Two-dimensional GIS data, that is the dimension of polygons in a GIS environment. Three-dimensional GIS data, which refers to 3D data in GIS environments such as 3D model of buildings. And in a 4D GIS environment, 3D data is used in temporal studies to show the changes of the 3D buildings or natural environment or 3D data over time. For example, 3D simulation of flood over time is a type of 4D GIS. 5D GIS is known differently in literature. Some of the studies refer to virtual reality or augmented reality of 3D models within GIS as 5D GIS. Some studies discuss that the scalability of 3D GIS models is known as 5D GIS. What are general types of 2D data in a GIS environment? There are 2 common types of two-dimensional data in GIS, raster and vector data. Okay, let's start from raster data. What is a raster data? How this data is represented and analyzed? A raster consists of same-sized pixels or cells, and there is a value assigned to each pixel or cell. The value of the pixel can be temperature value, can be elevation value. Digital aerial images, digital pictures, or even scanned maps are examples of raster data. Now, let's define some basic elements and concepts regarding raster data. As we defined, raster consists of cells known as pixels, right? Now, what do we mean by a cell size? What is the difference between a raster with 5 meter cell size and a raster with 1 meter cell size? Each pixel is a square, right? The length of the side of this square is known as a cell size. A spatial resolution is determined by a cell size. A higher spatial resolution means that there are more cells per unit area. The higher the resolution, the smaller the cell size. Now, let's compare a high resolution with a low resolution image here in this slide. On top of this matrix, you can see smaller cells in same area than the lower part of this matrix, right? So, which one shows a higher spatial resolution? Please always remember this sentence. The higher the resolution of a raster, the smaller the cell size, and thus the greater the detail. A common question is that whether we can change the cell size of a raster data. If yes, in which direction? From a small sized raster to big sized raster, or in the opposite direction? Please have a look at the photo in this slide. Can we change the cell size of a raster from 8 meter to 1 meter? Can we change the size of a raster from 1 meter to 4 meter cell size? The process of changing the cell size of a raster data is called resampling. Resampling is a very useful technique when we want to aggregate data. Therefore, it is usually used for conversion of smaller cell sizes to bigger cell sizes. Of course, there are advanced techniques nowadays to convert low-resolution imagery to a higher resolution imagery. Please be aware that for one raster data with a specific cell size, a spatial resolution remains the same in different scales of the visualization of the raster data. It means that zooming in and out in a GIS environment won't affect the spatial resolution of the raster data. In this slide, one image is demonstrated into different scales: small scale in the left and large scale in the right. However, a scale of visualization has not affected the spatial resolution of the image, that is determined by cell size, and as you see, the cell size for both images are the same, 61 cm. A raster may contain more than one layer, each layer known as a band. In such cases, you can see the bands when you expand the main layer demonstrated in the GIS environment. Each band is a raster layer with same cell size as other bands, and for each raster layer, cell sizes have specific values associated with them. For a true color, three basic colors of red, green, and blue are combined to make the specific color. Let's have a look at this image over UNSW and nearby areas. As you see, the colored image includes three bands demonstrating red, green, and blue colors in three separate bands. If we apply any analysis technique on the true colored image, the analysis technique is applied on all the three bands. RGB stands for red, green, blue. RGB refers to three hues of light that can be mixed together to create different colors. Combining red, green, and blue light is the standard method of producing color images on screens such as TVs, computer monitors, and smartphone screens. The RGB color model is an additive model. When 100% of each color is mixed together, it creates white color. When 0% of each color is combined, no light is generated, creating black. There are raster analysis tools in QGIS, such as raster calculator, interpolation, and slope tools. You can see a list of these tools in this slide. One of the important raster analysis tools is called raster calculator, which is used to conduct math operations such as addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Please be aware to consider same extents and same cell sizes for the raster layers that are going to be used for a raster calculation. Okay, so far we have learned about raster data type and the analysis tools for raster datasets. Let's have a look at another type of GIS data, which is vector data. A vector data is usually known by its vertices and geometry. In a geographic context, a vertex shows a position in a space using x, y, and z axis. There are three different types of vector data: point data, line, and polygon data. Points are represented by x and y coordinates. There are also points with x, y, and z coordinates. We will talk about this kind of data later in this course. Lines are made out of many connected points. Segments of the lines are demonstrated by their corresponding start and end vertices. Polygons are made out of at least three line segments or three vertices that are connected. So far, we have learned about raster and vector data types. Okay, let's see how we can show features in these two data types. Please have a look at the representation of same point features in this slide in two data types of vector and raster. Which figure shows a raster data type and which one is representing a vector data type? See how linear features are represented in vector and raster data types. I am sure that you have learned that the raster data is the one represented by the pixels. And here you can see the demonstration of polygons in vector and raster data types. There are various tools for analysis of vector data in QGIS accessible from main menu and the processing toolbox. These processing tools can be found both from the main menu and from the processing toolbox. This is the end of per lecture video for week 3. Thanks for watching.